Alright, here we go with the next modeling video where I'm going to show you how to draw on the Mousetrap itself and mock up a little bit of its function. What you need to understand here is that the spring closes, it's going forward, that's the orientation you need to have the Mousetrap facing in. So you're going to pull the spring back and power it up by pulling the Mousetrap spring back towards the back wheels, and that's the forward direction. The direction this dowel is going out the front is the direction that this thing is going to be propelled in when it's working. So you really have to understand the placement, and what we're going to look for here is in our designs that there's going to be this spring, there's going to be this arm on the Mousetrap, and you're going to strap a piece of dowel wood to it, and it should be as close to the center of the back wheels as you can possibly get it when you align everything. So this really is a construction design plan. So this, in your current video, this is what I'm looking to get you guys up to. We're going to go here back to where I ended the last video, just to continue on. So everybody should open this. I'm going to finish that sketch. You can click on top of the piece of board, create a sketch. We're just going to use a 2-point rectangle, and Mousetraps are pretty standard sizes. This doesn't have to be exactly on this corner. You want to try and just line it up. You don't have to worry about perfection in this case, but I do want you to see the drawing dimensions here. You have the 66 millimeters there highlighted in blue. That's going to turn to 100 millimeter measurement, so you type in 100 there, and it'll make the vertical 100, and then you type tab on the keyboard, and you're going to change that measurement to 50, and those are the true dimensions of a standard Mousetrap. Okay, you want it over there in that direction like that. And then when you finish this sketch, you can build the thickness with an extrude, and the true thickness is 5 millimeters, so you can just punch that in really easily. Hit enter. All right, what's going to happen is you're going to have this body that gets built, like this. Edit. Right click on it. Edit. It just always ends up jumping back to join for some reason. What I want you to do is hit new body here in this operation, so it becomes its own separate part, own separate body. That you can also, if you want, go into the appearance menu and give it its own. Shoot, you can make it chrome, or let's do this the right way. Actually, do the pan color. That's really kind of distinguishing kind of color that you're looking for. Right. Then I'm just going to put a new sketch on top of that and give yourself a center line. And what you're going to see is, just like in AutoCAD, you're going to get a triangular identifier that tells you you're at your midpoint. You can just draw horizontally like that. So you just have this midline across the Mousetrap, because you're going to have this bar on the Mousetrap that swings. There's a spring that goes down the middle, and the Mousetrap comes up and over to one side and then snaps back to the other side. So we just need this as a reference line for what we're about to do. It's all for that part of the we've just got a block of wood with a line across the top of it. And so why I did that here. If you construct an offset plane and click on the top surface here, you can just type in 3. You're going to have a new place to draw on, a new plane. Instead of just the original planes, you can create planes, and that's what we're doing. And then I want you to also construct an offset plane. This is going to come up in the middle here. You're going to click on offset here and grab this arrow and make sure that you just drag that far enough where it's in. It's actually best if you just type 100 millimeters in to have a new plane 100 millimeters away from the center. So now we're just going to click this new plane, sketch on it. This is a fun new thing to learn. You're going to see a tool called Sweep. So we're just going to draw a rectangle up here. About, like, I can't guarantee everybody's seen a mousetrap before, but the arm on a mousetrap would sit on it, something like that, and swinging back and forth on the spring. Alright, finish the sketch on that plane. I guess I can see that. You can see how we have this other plane here that we built. You're going to sketch on that now. And you're just going to look for the end point of this drawing that you just made and put a small circle like so. That's replicating the piece of metal on Mousetrap. You're going to finish that sketch and you have two now intersecting sketches. Watch this. You're just going to go create, sweep, click. Okay. This menu comes up when you sweep and it's asking you first to select the profile. That's what I did. I just clicked the profile. Then we're going to select the path. We're going to click this path. And it's going to take that shape and it's going to travel or sweep around that path. Alright, here's a perfect example of I don't like what I'm seeing and I want to modify it. My last sketch is in the sketch menu here or right here where you can right click and edit and just change this to a smaller size and or dimension it to something like 3 millimeters. That's actually the right yeah, that's about the right size. It was really big for a bar. So all I did was, actually let's click this, sometimes it's good to spin things that way. You would have a spring in the middle here and this bar snaps back and forth to do what it does. Alright, and so we're going to use this spring power and this arm we already made construction planes. Check this out. We made this plane here. We're going to use that to draw an arm that comes off of that mousetrap. Let's see what direction we're going here. Alright, I'm just going to zoom out so everybody can see this. We're drawing on this now. So we could do it either way, but you just really need to orient yourself and know what direction you're going when you're drawing something. And it's going to be simple. We're going to use something like a 3 millimeter dowel. If you hit escape, you can move this up and around, shrink it down to about the right size. Don't worry so much about it being perfect size. These are going to end up being pretty skinny. So we want them to be light. I want you to see me modifying it so you can see what's going on here. So I just have that same spot that I used to draw the circle to build this. I'm done with what I'm going to do. Click this. Extrude it out. Make it something like 250 millimeters long. Kind of looks like a cannon. But remember what's going on here, and you also want this to be a new body, its own separate thing. You want to right click and change the appearance to that. Whoa. This is going to be a piece of wood. So you can always entertain yourself and make things look realistic. Well, they're going to look like when they're done. Provided you get the hang of this. Okay, so you can see what's about to happen here. You're going to have a string tied to the end of this that's going to be cut with it's going to be knotted here and cut just enough to wrap around the back wheel axle once, and then you're going to wind the string around. This axle's not here yet clearly, but you're going to wind this axle back and it's going to take the spring here and it's going to slowly rock this arm back up and power up your back wheels that'll be here. So you want this piece of wood that you're using to power it is in the center of the body of your car when you're building this as possible. It helps a whole bunch if you pay attention to the locations of this and why it needs to align to the back. And if you follow this set of instructions carefully, you're going to save us a lot of time and energy and money. So I'll see you in the next video, guys.